My story of abuse is one I haven't been able to share, especially with my family, because I haven't been able to bring myself to tell that story, but now I think it's time.
I felt guilt. I was ashamed of it. At the point I couldn't share it with people.
At the UN level, there's a lot of funding for girl child, so a lot of NGOs, girl child empowerment, and because the girl child has been deprived a long time ago, so we've gone to that extreme. Meanwhile, once you tilt towards the extreme, it means that a lot will be happening in your blind spot that you are not aware of, and a lot of boys are being molested actually that we don't talk about. Mine started at the age of 4. It was an auntie who began to fondle my genitals, and that happened for 4 years. Then another person took over. So all my life, growing up till age 12, it's been one older person or the other. I was a wreck at the age of 14 till about 18 when I began to recover.
There's this bigger cousin of mine who serves as an aunt over us. She's meant to take care of us while we're back from school. She would always want us to do this play together. The brother acts as the father, she acts as the mother, and then I act as the child. And then she would always instruct my other cousin that he is meant to go to work as the father, while she and then myself stays back at home as the mother and child, of course. She would lay on the bed with me, and then I noticed she would play with my private parts, and then she would actually have sex with me. Okay, but then I never knew it was even called sex. In fact, at the point I would be the one running to her, let's go and have this play, because I felt I was catching fun.
I was abused by a neighbor of mine while I was still in primary school. He made me suck his penis, and I can't remember how long it went on, but I knew it wasn't once, it wasn't twice. And at some point, it progressed to different other people who were older than I was. That was in Aba, where I grew up in. I had most of my growing up in Aba. About 3 people and 1 person in Lagos, so I'd say 4 in total. That was between primary school and early secondary school. They were all guys. My curiosity got the major part of me, and like Oliver Twist, I guess I'd say I went back asking for more.
In the boys' world, when you're a teenager, it's a thing of pride for you to say that babe you are sleeping with babes, right? But to now say that a babe molesting you, in fact, they may likely say congratulations, are you enjoying it and all those things, because we don't see it as abuse.
When my mother is no longer capable to send three of us to school again, then he asked me to go and live with one woman who used to call Olori. I'm living with that woman for several years. There is a particular day he sent me and our servant to our house, to our bedroom, to go and clean the bedroom. And suddenly I just saw her push me on the bed. Then she asked me to sleep with her. After that happened, I always run for her, because when I see her coming far away, I'll be afraid about what happened.
Keeping your child with someone you can't trust, someone you do not know, can create a damage of a lifetime. When I was 6 years old, I'm able to pin down the year, because that was the year I started primary school. When we returned from school, we were to stay with this woman who was our neighbor. One day, this woman, decided to strip me naked, put myself, strip me naked, strip herself naked, began to do with a 6-year-old boy what a woman should do with a man. And that went on for like 2 years. As I speak to you now, I remember clearly the complexion of that woman, dark in complexion. I remember our features, the features of our body. I'm 47 years old. March 24, I'll be 48 years old. That means 42 years now, I still have enmeshed and entrenched in my memory that incident that happened to me. It never goes away.
Everybody's playing coins. The coins that is 20 now. Like, the coins drop my money. How about will now come to give me like 200? I will use to pay it. I can chop like 1,000 naira. That's why I like that. How about do it like 3 days for me? And then like once I come to my house, I go to your house, I go to your house to give me how much, now give me when I eat. And then I think that is better place. One day my mom is no house. Everyone else, I'm not good. When I go to this Baba, as I go to this Baba, Baba give me food. I go to your house, I don't do that thing for me. I still do that thing for me. Like my stomach, every day, my stomach is paining me. If I want to shit, that shit will just wash as I'm talking. It will wash. Like I will go to toilet.
A child had been sexually molested by a teacher, and I'm the Secretary of Child Protection Network, Lagos State, and we swung into action. This child must be protected. Then the parents began to push back. In Ajegule, they began to push back. Lawyer, please leave us alone. We are not interested. It's our child. It's not your child. And by the time we investigated, 30,000 naira as exchange hands. This is a family who are doing a business. Maybe their turnover in a month is not up to 2,000 naira. This is poverty that the state has not been able to address.
At that point, I used to play. Because I was in another place. I had to go to one of the kids there. My money friend is there. I'm not to go. And I said, that's in your job. And I said, yes. And I said, I'm not going to sit down. And I said, you're not giving me 200 that I should use to go and play. I had a job like 500. I want 530. And I said, look at the carry and go. You don't do that thing for me like 2 months. It's like I should come. I should come for your house. You don't do nothing for me. You don't buy food for me. For that, like that. And I said, look at go. As I can finish, as I sit down, you give me, I said, you give me 200. I honestly, I should have said, you want to see something on my back. As I live as if because of that one way they that's why I just open clothes and I clothes. That's why they do that. And I remember saying, this thing that's what they do. I ain't this one too they do. That's not paying me. All my nights like this is paying me that time. That's why I said I can't do it again. And that's why I do it for me 5 times. That's what they do it for me 2 times.
When you play adult content in a child's birthday party, that's abuse, right? You are messing up their mind.
Boys begin to see girls as sex objects because all they see about girls, all they hear about girls is sex.
You will not often find boys come to say this person molested me or whatever because it's a thing of shame in our society.
Funny enough, till date my parents don't know. I didn't tell them because I was like, how would they take it? A family member, a relation?
My parents were very conservative, and my siblings and I happened to be the first generation educated, university educated people in my family, and also coming from a very strong Christian background. I didn't know how to start up that conversation with my parents.
I think that abuse would have stopped the first time. If it happened the first time, it would have stopped if I had a relationship with my parents and I was able to talk to them about what I was going through, and I was sure they were going to do something about it.
What abuse does is it takes away your identity and your self-esteem, and you have nothing left. You have no respect for humanity. You just want to use everyone, and everyone wants to use you.
When your life is messed up and you are trying to fix it, you try everything. As a child, I started having sexual relations with other children. As a teenager, I started having anal sex. In today's parents, we call it homosexuality. As a teenager, I've taken my father's neighbor's daughter into my father's bedroom and I'd molested her sexually, and I'd warned her not to tell anybody. I started smoking very early at the age of 12. I've gone into drinking, I've gone into Indian hemp. I could not be satisfied with sexual relationships. I also had to, go into masturbation because I had to masturbate every other day. If I felt like masturbating and I was going on the street, I'll just go to a corner and I'll use saliva to masturbate. That's how bad it was. I patronized prostitutes. And I was also addicted to pornography. And so my life was in a big mess. And so I felt there was no help. I felt there was nothing I could do about it.
I went back to my mother's house to carry her money and ran away. I ran away again, come back to Ikotu Market. I walked with my leg from Ogun State to Ikotu Market. When they want to do Happy New Year in 2009, I did my Happy New Year in Yoruba used to call it Olosho. I did my Happy New Year there overnight with my boys. They used to call me small bottle during that time because I'm very wicked. Since then, I see women like woman is not so useful in my eyes. Since that day, I do not trust any woman on earth. I have told myself that even my mother, I do not trust her.
When people are messed up, they create a prototype of the person who messed them up and they hate the person. There's a guy who told me, today I desire only guys because it was a woman that molested me.
Adulthood, I had struggles with sex, I had struggles with sexuality. Given the fact that I was exposed to sex at a very young age, it skewed my thoughts, it skewed my perception about what sex and sexuality was and should be. And so at that point, I was suicidal and I was very angry with God as well, coming from a religious background. And I felt God shouldn't have let me go through what I went through as a child and the struggles I had with my sexuality.
At age 27, something happened to me. I simply gave my life to Christ. When I gave my life to Christ, that was the beginning of transformation in my life. And I took that as a challenge. I started working on myself. I started reading. I started studying. I started looking for help. I started speaking to my mind, speaking to myself. And before I knew it, it appeared to be slow. I began to see tremendous change in my life. Little by little, those thoughts began to disappear. I became a warmonger. I started fighting for the recovery of my mind.
It got to a point where I felt my sexuality was as a result of the abuses I went through as a child. But through reading, through the knowledge I've been able to acquire through the years, I was able to go past that thought. I came to the understanding that God loves me and I was able to overcome that.
I learned to trust again. First, I trusted myself. It took me time though, but then I had to understand the fact that whatever happened in the past was never my fault. It was only because I was a child and I was vulnerable to abuse.
If you were sexually molested growing up as a boy, or you were sexually molested growing up as a girl, when you don't find help, sex becomes a dreaded topic for you to discuss, because anytime you discuss it, it reminds you of your pain. You have to sit down face to face and deal with that matter. So until you find help, you cannot stop messing up, and you cannot stop messing up others.
At the center of your thoughts as a molester, as a child abuser, children are the victim. So if you have a problem like that, if you have an addiction like that, talk about it with someone who you believe can help you out and seek help. Maybe you will just find the help that you need.
The strength of the predator is ignorance of the child. A lot of parents are the first predators in the life of their children because they are the ones who create the opportunity and the environment for a child to be molested. If you empower the child against the predator loses power. The predator knows that an average parent will not teach a child anything about sex. With all this noise, there are still parents who don't believe you need to teach a child about sexual education.
The responsibility of strengthening the family is the responsibility of the family itself, the community, the state, and the international community. This idea of child protection that does not embrace parents' protection, protection of the rights of parents, it's not going to work. There's no nation on earth where children are enjoying the best of protection without adequate contribution from the state.
So if you are able to do something about your child, that means you should be able to do something for other children who are under your leadership. There are sex-appropriate educative programs for each age group. So if these programs are being incorporated in the school curriculum, I believe it will go a long way to help safeguard children, boys, girls, against sexual abuse.
Every informed member of society today cannot but discuss the onslaught on our children. We must ensure that there's no child that is abused under our watch.